We are back, as though I never left. Sorry that it's been a while. We are back with a video that I am calling EV Tips for Winter with a Renault 5. Because a lot of people think that having an EV in the winter is like the worst part of having an EV. And yes, they do cost a little bit more to run in the winter. They're not quite as good on electricity. I'm giving away all the tips. Stay tuned, find out more. Is that working? It's working. So I gave it away there. The first thing to consider about an EV, an electric vehicle, during winter is it will use more energy, it will use more electric, and your kilowatt hour will drop down. So I've been averaging about 4.5 miles per kilowatt in my Renault 5 over the last 5,000 miles-ish. Now that it's starting to get cold, so I'm waking up in the morning and it's about 5-6 degrees, that has dropped. I'm now seeing about 180 miles complete range on the car, where previously I was seeing anywhere between 220 and 250. And I imagine as it starts to get colder, that is going to dip even more. So you've got to plan for that. You've got to plan for the fact that you are going to want to drive maybe a little bit slower everywhere, or factor in an additional stop, because you are going to use more electric in the winter. We need to give a plus side, we've given the negative. So a plus side of having an electric vehicle in the winter is the preconditioning. And I know that some very nice, snazzy, posh, normal cars have this, but electric vehicles, it's a little bit easier. So I've got the programs and the scheduling set up in the car so that on weekdays, when I'm going to work, at 10 to 6, at 10 to 7, every morning, it turns on the heated seats, the heated steering wheel, and it sets the climate control to a nice 21 degrees. So I don't have to defrost the windscreen, I don't have to worry about condensation, and I get into a nice warm car. Lovely. You don't get that all the time, because if you've got less than 40% battery charge, it won't do it. You're going to be charging more. I would just keep it topped up every couple of days, plug it at home. Depends on your mileage. But if you've got less than 40% battery, it won't go into preconditioning mode. That's specific to the Renault 5. If you're watching this, you haven't got a Renault 5, that might not be relevant. You can schedule the preconditioning by doing this. Push that button, then push that button, then push that button, then push that button, then push that button. There you go. One thing that I've noticed about this is set up left-hand drive. If you want steering wheel and driver's seat, you have to do the passenger side, but that might just be unique to me. You can then set this to whatever temperature you want. I've been just banging it to 28 degrees for the fun of it. Click save, and then it comes on ready for 7 AM, and then at 10 to 7, it turns on the climate. Lovely. Battery, I've got that wonky hat again, let's get rid of that. Whilst we're on the subject of charging, try not to fully deplete the battery, and try not to fully charge it as well. 20 to 80% battery is perfect. You also have to think about preconditioning the battery and warming it up before you charge it to get a more efficient charge. If you're overnight and it's really cold, the battery's not going to charge as efficiently as it would do if you were charging mid-journey when the battery's already warmed up. So that's something to think about as well. It does cost a little bit more, and if you're charging overnight, it doesn't really matter. But just factor in that if you charge mid-journey, the battery's warmed up and preconditioned, it's much healthier and much safer and a little bit quicker to charge it midway through a journey. This sticker here on your driver's door tells you your tyre pressures. 33 psi for the front, 30 psi for the rear. In the winter, you might want to consider lowering them. Look at my lovely clean glass. Can you see how nice and clean it is? That's because I use Rain-X rain repellent on it. You should do the same. It's really good in winter. Renault 5 specific thing here. That's not screen wash. That's not screen wash. That is your screen wash. Use lots of it. Buy some rubber mats. I'm going to put a link in the description to some Renault genuine all-weather mats. They're really not that expensive. You should get them. I'm going to. They've started salting the roads up here. So what I did last week, and I have got some footage of this, but not loads of footage. But because I've got a nice new car and they salt the road so heavily up here, what I did was I got it up on a 4-poster ramp and I used Built Hamber Dynax UC, which is their underbody clear spray wax. And basically what I did was I just went front to back to make sure that everything's all nice and protected, because once the winter's out of the way, I'm going to put a cool set of wheels on it and lower it. And I don't want to go to it next year and all the nuts and bolts be rusty. So I did that first. It doesn't cost that much. You can probably get the whole underside of your car done. I mean, we've got to talk labour here. It probably takes about an hour and a half to do it properly and about 80 quid's worth of product. So for a couple of £100, if you have got a new electric vehicle and, you know, it's your darling and you love it, definitely consider getting it booked in with a garage just to have something like, I don't recommend Lanergard, I think it's crap, but something like Dynax UC or some proper underbody wax. Just get it put on it to start with, because then your new car's going to stay new and nice. Do it. It costs a couple of £100. It's no drama. Get it done. The rear discs, the rear brakes, they don't do very much because of the regenerative braking. And it's very common for the brake calipers on electric vehicles to get seized on. Nice view of my knee. Because they don't do any work. So while you've got it up on the ramps, I mean, this is a new one, so don't worry about this, but this is just general things. Whilst you've got it up on the ramps and they're doing an underbody sealant on it and making sure everything's all protected for the winter, make sure the brakes are freed off. Because the last thing that you want to happen is you're going down a hill, something happens, you panic, you put your foot on the brakes, and the rears do nothing. That would be dire. Electric vehicles are known for their instant throttle response and instant torque. And if you're a terrible driver, that's not going to help you very much. So get to grips with knowing the safety features on the car. Learn how to do the anti-slip regulation, how to get involved in the traction control system and stuff like that. What you don't want to be is on an icy road, on an icy hill. It's going to start snowing soon. That's specific to us. This is the northeast of England. We always get a bit of snow. You don't want to be learning about the safety features of the car and how to disable or enable them on the day that you're, trying to get up a hill and it's slipping and sliding everywhere. You just want to know. Normal winter tips when you're driving your car apply, gentle throttle, gentle braking, plan ahead, bits and pieces like that. However, with an electric vehicle, I would say when it comes to winter, just stick it in eco mode so you get the slowest throttle response possible. That's what I would do. On a Renault 5, you can configure 2 driving assistance modes. So you can have everything turned on, or you can have perso mode. Traction control, active braking, you probably want to turn those off in the winter. I'm not a fan of them in an EV, but if you go configure my safety perso, if you turn all of these off, you don't get the steering wheel tugging away at you for lane departure warning, and it won't freak out about the fact that it can't see bits of the road because they've got salt and snow and stuff all over them. To activate the My Perso safety, you click this button and you've got My Safety all on. Click it again, My Safety Perso, and then it turns off all of the lane guidance and bits and pieces like that if you've set it up that way in there. And that pretty much sums it up. I'm actually looking forward to winter with my electric car because it's going to be warm all the time. That's the thing. It's going to be warm every time I get in it. That's great. A lot of this is very basic stuff. However, it's only basic stuff if you're into cars. If you're not into cars, then some of this stuff might be new to you. If there's any other bits that you'd like me to do, let me know. You're probably wondering why. Well, no one cares. I haven't made any content for a couple of months. I've had a lot of stuff going on. I've been quite ill. Business has been really busy, and I've been quite ill. So I haven't really been making anything, but loads of stuff has been going on. And I have been recording loads, so I have got a little catalogue of things that we can start running through over the next couple of months. And I'm going to France next week with Paul. We're going to Loac to an auto jumble, so that'll be fun. I still love my Renault 5. Very much love it. Still washing it 3 times a day, every day. I'm almost 5,000 miles into it now. So I think it's about time that we did a long-term ownership review. So that's going to be the next video that follows up what it's like now that I've had it for many months and many miles. I'll let you into a teaser. It's fucking great. Catch you in a bit. Bye.